Sometimes I can't take myself seriously. Oh man. But, sometimes I can't even take my own freaking baseball team seriously either, especially around this time, right? But what is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with a somewhat kind of out of the blue, out of nowhere, little live stream for you guys. As you see by the title and the link in the description, you got a little article review for you. Now, I'm not going to go through the article because there's a lot to go over, but earlier, let me actually do this. It was earlier, I think a day or so ago, actually. An article was posted on MLB.com talking about biggest needs for postseason teams that didn't make the series. Posted by Thomas Harrigan. Didn't even know he was on MLB.com, but that's cool. It was posted technically on November 2nd, so it's right up there. And for those who are wondering, like, what exactly is in this article? Well, I posted the link in the description. Click it and let me know what you think. I read through it a little bit. It's interesting, right? They talked about all the teams. Like, for instance, let's talk about the Astros, right? Potential free agent targets. They mentioned corner infielder and high leverage reliever, something that they really need, especially because they're high money. Yeah, big money relievers failed them in the wild card game. They mentioned, or I guess he mentioned, Pete Alonso, because again, they tried Jose Abreu. Remember how that went? Bregman, bringing him back. Estevez, that'd be a nice addition for them. Jeff Hoffman, Clay Holmes, David Robertson's old ass, Coach Santana, Christian Walker, Blake Trinan, and Kirby Yates. So really, first baseman and high leverage, big time reliever that can get you outs late in the game to win you games as well. To go with Josh Hader. How about the Braves? What do they have? Number 2 starting pitcher and shortstop. Willie Adames, Nate Eovaldi, Jack Flaherty, Max Fried, Sean Manaea, Blake Snell, and Tomoyuki Sugano. So it's really Willie Adames at shortstop, and then pitchers. That's it. Yeah. And you know how the Braves are. They're going to probably get one of those guys. Maybe even 2. I think they're going to maybe bring back Fried. But if they don't, Blake Snell, Manaea, Sugano from Japan, Flaherty, yeah, that would work. That would work really well for them. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every team because I don't care about every team. We're just going to go through my team. But I like how he mentioned it like you could tell the big money spenders based off the guys he mentioned. Now we're gonna go through it here. For the Guardians, let's see who. Let's see what he had for us. So mid rotation starting pitcher and left-handed hitter, outfield slash DH. Now I actually pulled up the Guardians lineup and stuff on Fangraphs. Yeah, we could really use a lefty hitting an outfielder for sure. Let's see, what do we have? Oh yeah, of course, Will Brennan. I swear to God, bro, if I have to watch Will Brennan take at bats next year, it's gonna be rough. Unless he has a breakout year. I mean, he actually looked good at times, but the problem was that was like maybe 15% of the time he was actually good. He was good to start last year, and then he got hurt, came back, got hot a little bit, whatever. Think they sent him down, whatever. He came back, looked good, whatever. Most of the time, he's been booty cheeks. Like, He's not even replaced. He's not even like a bench level guy. Because I mean, in the playoffs, this dude literally was like allergic to like he was allergic. He just refused to stare at pitches. He's like me playing MLB The Show, swinging at everything. It didn't matter where you threw it. You could throw a pitch in the other box. He'd swing at it. He's like Javi Baez. I'm telling you, if he is starting games for us next year, we're cooked. The lineup overall isn't bad. I mean, it's lefty loaded. Again, this was updated to account for you know, the 2025 roster as of now. So no Hedges, and yeah, they need another catcher. I'm surprised they didn't mention catcher, right? But they're probably going to bring back Hedges. Now, some hitters that they could, or that no, some hitters that were mentioned. What's up, Asia? Let's see who we mentioned. They won't do nothing. No, they got to do something. If they do nothing, I'll be pissed. But here are the hitters that Mr. Harrigan mentioned. So, going from left to right, Michael Conforto. By the way, for a second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. My OBS went OBS spasm. But we're back. I don't know how many more times it's gonna do that. I think it's this OBS being stupid as usual. But I said it, Kyle, because I thought catchers. How many good backup catchers are there? Not really that many. Now, if we do hire Kevin Seitzer to be the hitting coach, and if they let him go, how about Travis d'Arnaud from the Braves? It would take him to be a backup catcher. I mean, I know a lot of people want Hedges back, but let's be honest here. Hedges brings nothing. All he does is bring vibes. That's all he does. We paid $4 million for vibes this past season. That's all he does. He might run into a hit every now and then, but for the most part, he's unplayable. He's good behind the dish, but you better have a damn good starting catcher, and you better yank him if you're in a big situation. Yoshioka can actually hit. Not to mention, if he gets a big hit, you could say, "Hey, we're getting Higgy with it." He was really good with the Yankees, and I think he could be decent with us. Same thing with d'Arnaud. Now, what other backup catchers would there be? Let me look on Spot Track real quick here, guys. Let me look up backup catchers available. Okay, UFA. All right, so d'Arnaud has a club option. Austin Barnes had his option picked up, so he's not going nowhere. Didn't expect him to go anywhere. You also have Max Stassi. He's a definite replacement type guy. Danny Jansen wouldn't be the worst. James McCann. Okay. 34 years old. All right. Of course, Austin Hedges. Uh huh. Yaz. Grandal. No. Higgy, like I said, he'd be fantastic. Casali. That'd be cool. Elias Diaz. I kind of wanted us to maybe trade for him, but of course it didn't happen. That'd be cool to bring him in. He would not be expensive at all. And then you have Carson Kelly, who is the only other one that really makes some sense. And then you even have Martin Maldonado, who is almost unplayable, as he's as unplayable as Austin Hedges. He's ass. Old too. Yeah, you see the names. You see the guys featured on your screen here. Going back to getting back on task. Michael Conforto, Max Kepler. Imagine how awkward that would be. especially for Twins fans. Jock Peterson and Jesse Winker. The Guardians have been interested in the past in Conforto and Jock. Would they revisit those two? I bet they would. Now, the only thing about Jock is he's almost exclusively a DH. And currently, as we know, we essentially got what, 2 or 3 DH level players right now that really DH most of the time. Josh Naylor and Junk. And probably David Fry, especially coming off surgery, because, by the way, he played injured. That's why he couldn't really play the field. He couldn't catch, which really limited us. I think it was an elbow injury, so yeah, he'll be on the mend for a while probably, and he probably won't be able to play the field for a while, just like Bryce Harper. So he's going to have to DH if and when he does hit. But besides him, you're going to have Jonk, who can play the field, which makes him useful, but also he's going to DH quite a bit too. And then Josh Naylor. So if you bring in Jonk, does that mean bye-bye Josh Naylor? Probably. But of course, we saw what Jock can do to us. I mean, the dude crushed a pitch against us last year. He always kills us. Wouldn't be surprised if he did it again. I think I saw a tweet from, was it Covering the Corner? Talking about WRC Plus. He had a 140 WRC Plus, which means he is an elite level hitter against righties. That's what we need. We would need a guy like him to go with Junk. Man, that'd be elite. And like I said, Max Kepler, right? Now I'm going to pull up Baseball Reference here. Okay, let's pull up Baseball Reference. And we're going to go through these guys too. I almost forgot about that. Again, it's freaking late as hell. I don't know why I even decided to do this stream. I was going to think about doing this tomorrow, but then it's like, I'm going to be watching the NFL and I'm probably not going to be in the mood to talk about baseball. So let's talk about Jock Peterson real quick here, because we're talking about him already. So let's see what he can do. Because he's probably the one legit guy that we would have to straight up DH. Nothing else. The other names that you see, the other guys you see on here, they could play the field. Winker, Max, and Conforto can all play the field really well. Jock, he's damn good. OPS plus of 151, a 515 slug last year, 7 stolen bases, 64 RBIs, 23 dongs. Now, like I said, the Guardians were interested in him a couple years ago. I believe when he went to the Giants. Yeah. We were very interested in him. I think we were one of the finalist teams, but he decided not to come here. And I wonder if he were to consider us a legit, destination. Like I said, Max Kepler. Talk about a dude who was a thorn in our side for many years. Let me look up his stats. He had a 1 wins against replacement last year. 368 at bats, 93 hits, 8 dongs, 253 batting average. 43 runs, 42 RBIs, 1 stolen base. The greatest, right? Not the greatest. He's right. He's decent. He's a guy that you could platoon with Jonk in right field. Right? I mean, the best WAR he had was 2019 which was 4, which was pretty good. That's really good. The higher that number is. Yeah, wins against replacement. A single number that presents the number of wins the player added to the team above what a replacement player would add. So he added 4 wins. Right? That's pretty good. That was also the year he finished 20th in MVP voting. 36 homers that year, too. He played in 134 games. The most games he played in his career to date, 156 in 2018. In fact, there's only really 2 years where he played in less than 100 games. Of course, 2020, duh, and then 2015. He only played in 3 games, but he barely played at all. Right? You put him in this lineup. You have him playing in the outfield. Right now, let's say right field. You put him. It's like, would you rather have Max Kepler or Will Brennan? In fact, of course, these guys that play the outfield. Would you rather have Michael Conforto or Will Brennan? Conforto, bar none. Same thing. Would you rather have Jesse Winker or Will Brennan? Winker. Of course, Kepler or Brennan. Oh, Kepler. I was actually kind of shocked that Harrigan mentioned Kepler as a potential target for us. Essentially, this would remind me of when we tried to bring in Eddie Rosario. A guy that would destroy us. We bring him in to see if he can work that magic, with us, and he wound up being ass. Traded him to the Braves, and look what happened. Maybe Kepler would be different, but his health has been a little bit of a question. And then, of course, Jesse Winker. He was solid at times with the Nationals last year. Got traded to the. In fact, let's see here. Of course, Winker was drafted by the Reds out of Orlando. Last year, he had a 2 WAR, 430 at bats, 109 hits, 14 dingers, 253 batting average. He had an OPS plus of 118. So, yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. The WAR last year was a 0.1, so his wins against replacement, wins above replacement, yeah, not the greatest. WRC plus though, I don't think this has that, does it? No, it doesn't. That would be like, was it runs created? Yeah, or something like that. I don't think I see that on here. There's so many. God, there's so many freaking like little secondary like metrics that people look at nowadays. Seems like every day someone's coming up with something new. Man, but again, would you rather take him or Will Brennan? I'd take any of these guys over Will. Obviously, Santander clears Will Brennan by like a country mile and then some. Let me just take a look real quick at Santander's stats, right? Anthony Santander. If you look at this guy and you're thinking, I don't want him. Well, why? Why wouldn't you want him? Tell me why you wouldn't want him. 2.9 WAR, so pretty good. He had essentially 3 wins when he was playing. 595 at bats last year, 140 hits, 44 ding dongs on the year. We could have used that for sure. 235 batting average, 91 runs, 102 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, OPS plus of 134. On base plus slugging percentage. Leaders need 3.1 plate appearances per team game played. 100, yeah, on base percentage. So he gets on base a lot. Yeah. He's very good at the getting on base thing. Just look what he did with the homers. This was, I believe, a career year in the home run department. Yeah, 44. Had 33 in 2022. He had 28 last year in 2023. 44 this year. He had well over a career high in RBIs as well. So yeah, I mean, you bring him in, put him in right field. Just imagine you put Anthony Santander back in this lineup where he should have been a long time ago, but we let him go in the Rule 5 draft. You have Quan. Let's say you go Quan, Manzardo, or Santander. Ramirez. Actually, if you get rid of Naylor, you could put Santander in the cleanup hole. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that would be great. Or you could have Naylor if you stuck. If you keep him, you could put Santander maybe ahead of Josh. Yeah, you could do that too. You could do all kinds of different things. I think you look at these guys on your screen. I think the most likely one I think we could go after is Conforto. Because I know for sure Santander will have a large market. Winker, Jock, and Kepler are probably going to have decent markets as well. I don't know how much they're going to want. And Higashioka, he might, I don't know if he's even going to want to come here. He might want to stay in San Diego. I think Conforto would fit really well on this team. It's just the hitters. Let's see what pitchers he mentioned. And as you can see, there's quite a few. Yeah, he went crazy with the pitchers. Obviously, Matthew Boyd. I think this is a bold prediction. The first move the Guardians are going to make this offseason in free agency is bringing back Bieber and Boyd. They're going to bring back both of them on modest sized contracts. Most likely, I could see Bieber getting like a Brennan Woodruff type deal. Maybe like a 2-year deal with a club option or something. You know, we'll see how he looks. And then he'll probably test the market afterwards. But yeah, Boyd, he came in fresh off of Tommy John. He signed, I think, in June with the Guardians out of nowhere. I remember when we signed him, I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, huh? Why? He's not even ready. He came out there, I think, first start against the Cubs, and he cooked them. He cooked them. It's like, yo, dude. Oh my God, bro. This dude's lit. Talking about a guy who went toe to toe with Tarek Skubal. Both times he faced him. He went punch for punch with them. Bad. Not bad at all. Especially because that was his old team, technically. I know he played for the Mariners too, but he spent most of his career with the Tigers. Facing Tarek Skubal. He knew his assignment. Just go out there and put up zeros. Give us a chance. And he did. I think he deserves a full in a few months. What, 2 months with us? What can he do with a full spring training? Right? We'll see. Now, he did mention two Kansas City Royal pitchers, Michael Lorenzen and Michael Wacha. Wacha. There's actually a couple articles, I think, that mentioned us with Wacha. In fact, Jim Bowden had us actually signing Michael Wacha. 3-year, $45 million deal. That was his prediction. I'm not going to dig into stats, but you get Lorenzen or Wacha, that'd be beautiful. If you can combine, like, maybe you bring back Bieber and Boyd, right? Because you're not going to have Bieber for at least a half the year. So let's say they do that. They bring back Bieber, they bring back Boyd, and then maybe you go out and sign Wacha. Is that mission accomplished? Could be. You know, I mean, let's take a look at our rotation as it stands right now. Again, this is as of today. 10 Bybee would be your 1. 1 Lively, Gavin, Cantillo, and Tristan McKenzie. Now, of the 5 mentioned, 3 of them still have option years. Joey has 1 more left. The other 2, Gavin and Tanner, obviously have 3 option years. But I mean, I don't see those 2 going anywhere. You could always send Mr. Cantillo down for another time, or maybe put him in the pen. Just look what happened with Gaddis. You put him in the pen and he went off. Right? I mean, do you really want to put your faith in a Tristan McKenzie resurgence? Especially considering our situation. We're coming off an ALCS appearance and we're trying to be a legit threat in the AL. I think we're going to probably wait and see what Tristan does in spring training before we really do anything like that. But yeah, I would be all aboard bringing in Waka, especially, and Lorenzen. Now, 2 other players are from the Mets, Jose Quintana and Luis Severino. Now, of course, if the Mets just completely collapsed before the deadline, which they clearly didn't, Grimace had them looking like damn good play. I mean, they were a damn good team when Grimace showed up. Remember that? They went from being sellers to low-key buyers, and they actually got Winker. If you can go out and get Severino, that'd be nice too. And Quintana, a guy that us Guardians fans or Indians fans know very well from his days in Chicago. He's a stud pitcher. He's really good. Trevor Williams, unfortunately, got hurt last year. He was a pitcher that I would have liked to have us look at if he was healthy at the deadline, but he got hurt. I wouldn't mind giving him a shot. You know, small little, maybe like a 1-2 year deal, club option, you know, that jazz. Okay, cool. Nick Pivetta from the Red Sox. Again, typical classic innings eating pitcher. Right? He'd be the guy you'd sign to replace Bieber until Bieber came back. And then maybe like you could trade him for something, you know, when Bieber comes back. And then Nick Martinez. Now, the interesting thing about Nick Martinez that would make him so delectable to me, he can pitch as a starter and bullpen. So if you're in a pinch, you could have him start. You could have him maybe be an opener if you want to do that. But he can also pitch out of the pen too. That's what would make him so useful. So, with that, what would my prime free agency look like of the names mentioned? Hitters, sign Conforto, right? I think that would probably be one of the only guys I'd sign, Conforto, for the outfield. Obviously, maybe you get a backup catcher, which will probably end up being Hedges again, because they love the vibes. So it'll be like Hedges and Conforto, and then maybe you get like 2 pitchers. And of the names mentioned here, obviously you bring back Boyd, and I'll say Waka. Waka or Severino, one of those 2. Because I'm pretty sure Waka's going to have a large market. He has the opportunity to get paid. Honestly, now that I think about it, I think we're going to be interested in all these guys, mostly, but I think we're going to end up with like Nick Pivetta. And don't be surprised if we trade for a pitcher. Jesus Luzardo would be a name that would immediately come up for me. Because I wanted him before he got hurt last year. The trade deadline. Like, he was one of my top targets. And then, of course, he got hurt. And now, of course, we got Alex Cobb. Could you see the Guardians bringing back Alex Cobb? So, yeah, I could. But, I mean, watching him last year, the poor guy couldn't stay healthy. He literally had finger issues since he came back. He pitched like what, 1 game, freaking fractured fingernail, misses a couple starts, comes back, shoves. Oh, a splinter. Misses a couple games. Comes back for the playoffs. Gets whacked. Gets injured. Oh my goodness. Like that actually happened. Boy. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting offseason because if you're the Guardians, again, let me move myself down here. I didn't even realize I was floating in the air. I'm floating. If you're the Guardians, right, and you want to be taken seriously, there is no way you see what your team did last year and you follow it up by doing nothing in free agency. You gotta do something. Even if it's like the bare minimum, you gotta do something. Which I know they will. Here's what actually my expectation is. I'm gonna do a little expectation versus reality. Okay? Expectation for the Guardians. They're gonna go out and get an outfielder, maybe like I'll say Michael Conforto for the outfield. And then maybe they'll get like Luis Severino, they'll bring back Boyd and Bieber, and they'll be good. Right? Reality, this is what I think they're gonna actually do. So we start off with outfield, right? Here's is what I think they're gonna do in the outfield. They're gonna go out and they're gonna go bargain bin hunting again, and they're probably gonna end up with like Randall Grichuk or Tommy Pham, right? They're gonna get one of those two, or maybe Adam Duvall, or even Tyler O'Neill, who I would not hate. Right? I wanted him too, but you know he's had injury issues. I would take him all day, but I would love Tyler O'Neill. That dude's got some whack in that bat. He got boom in the bat. But we're gonna either end up with like Manuel Margot or Tyler O'Neill, Jason Hayward. No, we need a righty. Tyler O'Neill would be huge for us. Although I don't know if he'd play right field because we obviously have a left fielder. Yeah, we're probably gonna end up with like Manuel Margot. That's who we're gonna end up with. Freaking Manuel Margot or Grichuk. Oh no, we're not talking about the Guardians after all. No, they're gonna 100% end up with old ass Whit Merrifield. Like 10 years after we should have we should have gotten, no, not even 10 years. Like 4 or 5 years after we should have traded for him originally. Like way after the fact, he's cooked. He's cooked. Yeah, he's past his prime. Like, he's cooked. He's not like he used to be in Kansas City. That's when we're gonna get him, right? He's already toasted. Like he's done. And then when it comes to pitchers, this is what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna go after, I'll say at least a couple starters here. I think we're gonna end up with. I think Matthew Boyd will be back, and we're gonna bring back Cookie. Cause vibes. We love the vibes. Yeah. And by the way, Cookie said he wants to pitch like 2 more years. So we're gonna sign him to like a 2-year deal. Yeah. And if we don't do that, we're gonna sign someone like Nick Pivetta or James Paxton or Alex Wood or even Wade Miley or Lance Lynn. Yeah, we can do Lance Lynn. No, he's too expensive. That's right. Like we're coming off a season where we had over 2 million people show up to the ballpark. We went to an ALCS. We made it to the ALCS, which is a little extra money, and we were actually good. So they're gonna go bargain bin hunting a little more. Yeah. They're gonna completely squander the good vibes and they're gonna do something stupid. Right? Because that's how they are. They're gonna get like Wade Miley or Martin Perez or something, and that's gonna be their starter. And then they're gonna bring back Boyd and Bieber, and then that'll be it. Now, in terms of catchers, obviously I've already talked about it. Get me d'Arnaud if he's available out there. I mean, McCann wouldn't be bad, or Higashioka. Reality is, Austin Hedges, come on down again. Yeah. God forbid. And then they're going to trade Josh Naylor, right? and they're gonna go out and bring back Carlos Santana for the fifth time in a row, for the fifth time. No, they're gonna bring an old ass freaking Yuli Gurriel. Or Joey Gallo. No, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring in Joey Gallo way after we should have got him like from the Rangers years ago. And he was getting traded, remember that? I think the Guardians are kind of eyeing him. They're gonna do that. Yeah. That's what they're gonna do. What I'm trying to say is they're gonna do something that it's like, why? Or Ty France. That's another one. Yeah, we're gonna get Ty France. That's it. They're gonna trade Naylor and bring in Ty France to replace him. Because Dolans don't spend money. No excuses next week to not win by 50 plus. If we don't win by, I'm just gonna say this: if Devin Brown and or Julian Sand aren't playing by middle third quarter next week, we're doing something wrong. Winner of the Ohio State Indiana game will play Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Blown out in Penn State continues to get owned by Ohio State. What a great day to be a Ducks fan. Yeah. Ohio State literally is Penn State's father. James Franklin, no matter how hard he tries, cannot beat Ohio State. Yeah. Like, that's tough. They try everything. They are, a solid team, but they just cannot beat us. They can't. They're still probably going to be a threat for the tournament, but I don't know what else they're going to do. I mean, thank God we won, because now we have the tiebreaker. And that's huge these days. So, that's really all I got, guys. Again, the link to the article that I talked about is in the description. And yeah, technically tomorrow, Monday, because today's Sunday now. Don't forget to turn the clocks back. Of course. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow, or today, I guess, for Browns and Chargers. We'll see how the Browns do, right? And of course, if the Guardians do anything in free agency, I'll definitely have a video. You know how I am. Of course, we're still waiting to see if they, see what they do in terms of their hitting coach. By the way, how about that Cavs game? Right? How about that Cavs game? That was fun. They went out. They beat the Bucks despite the fact that Giannis and Dame went off. And they were down by like 16 or something early on, and they roared back, and they won by 1 point because of Spider being elite. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up, and MLB free agency is pretty much here, starting officially Monday, I believe at like 5 or something. And we'll see if any other articles get posted. We'll see if any predictions get posted, and we'll see if any rumors come out. Because I'm sure we're going to see some rumors. And I cannot wait to see if there's any Guardians are among the teams interested in rumors that we all love. I mean, I just get so excited when I see that because it's like, wow, we're actually featured in a rumor tweet. It doesn't happen too often for us. So I get it kind of excited when I see it. It's like, wow, we're actually looking at players. It's not even the fact that we could sign them. It's just, wow, we're actually engaging with free agents. It's insane. We're actually talking to free agents. We're not just sitting there. Oh, man. But, yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for Chargers and Browns. Can the Browns win 2 in a row for the first time all year? Surely would be nice.